How's it going, guys? I'm KTO, and it's time for the NFC edition of this video. This whole conference is solid from top to bottom. This year's NFC Championship may be one of the toughest ever to get to, but at the same time, that means it's completely up for grabs. If your team is in this video, I hope this helps give you more trust and belief in your team. This is going to be one of the greatest playoffs ever. I can't wait. So on that note, onto the video. Number 1, the Detroit Lions. I already made a video talking about them, but I'm just amazed at how well this team has performed without Calvin Johnson this season, so props to them. Matt Stafford is an MVP caliber player and has an array of receiving targets at his helm. That matters because it means defenses they will face can't focus on just shutting down one guy. Marvin Jones, Golden Tate, Eric Ebron, Anquan Bolden, the list can go on. They lost Theo Riddick to injury, but they still have a few multi-purpose running backs. And with so many options to choose from, the Lions offense is the third best out of all playoff teams on third down conversions, which can be pivotal in late game situations. The defense is somewhat of a problem. They can easily be picked apart by a solid quarterback. So what they have to do is play a bend don't break style of defense, keeping everything in front of them and keep the score within striking distance for their offense. Here's the big stat though. Matt Stafford has 8 fourth quarter comebacks and 8 game-winning drives this season. This team has been undeniably clutch in the fourth quarter this year, and the fact that they have trailed in every fourth quarter except for one and still have 9 wins is almost uncomprehendable. Lions fans, keep this in mind during the playoffs. If they are within 7 points in the fourth, they have won a lot more than they have lost this season. Number 2, the Seattle Seahawks. The Legion of Boom is still tenacious. Yes, they lost a few pieces, including Earl Thomas, but they have held together as a unit. They have given up the least amount of points per game in the entire NFC. They are one of only 2 teams to beat the Patriots this season, and one of only 2 teams to have an interception against Tom Brady. Then jumping on the offensive side, after being hurt earlier in the season and having a few poor performances, Russell Wilson has been great, ending the season on a high note, throwing 8 touchdowns and 1 interception in his last 3 games. Russell Wilson also is one of the most experienced quarterbacks in the playoffs, and around him, he has Jimmy Graham back on track, and Doug Baldwin has played excellent. And to back him up, they had the most experienced playoff defense in the conference. They lost Tyler Lockett, which is unfortunate, but with having a tight end presence and a spread out balanced attack, they have a well-experienced defense and one of the better playoff quarterbacks, so this team will be a tough out for anyone. This team is also the most recent Super Bowl appearance of any team in the NFC. They know exactly what they have to do to get back there. Now, I'm not saying this is going to happen, but what if we saw a rematch of the Super Bowl between the Seahawks and the Patriots? The intensity of that game just sounds incredible. Number 3, the Atlanta Falcons. 3 words: high octane offense. They shred defenses week in and week out. They average the most points and the most yards of any team in the playoffs. And Matt Ryan is playing the best football of his career, no doubt. 38 touchdowns and 7 interceptions on the season, and has almost 5,000 passing yards. And other than Matt Ryan playing like an MVP, this offense's rush attack is no joke either. Devontae Freeman hit the 1,000-yard mark and has double-digit touchdowns, along with Tevin Coleman over 500 yards and 8 touchdowns. This offense can beat you over the top, down the middle, and around the outside, with playmakers everywhere. And Julio Jones is a man amongst boys, and led the league in receiving yards. But they have multiple options in the receiving game, including Mohamed Sanu and one of my favorite players to watch in Taylor Gabriel. You can argue that their defense will be dissected all playoffs long, but because their offense hardly turning the ball over, you have to pretty much outscore them, which is playing into their hands. Their defense isn't as big a slouch as some think. They have some pieces, including rookie standout Keanu Neal, who leads all rookies in tackles and had 5 forced fumbles. That's a part of why this team's turnover differential is the best in the NFC. Vic Beasley has also become a star, leading the entire NFL in sacks at 15.5, beating out Von Miller. An interesting comparison is the 1999 St. Louis Rams, otherwise known as the greatest show on turf. With Kurt Warner leading the league in pass yards, with an incredible arsenal of receiving targets, and a dual-threat running back in Marshall Faulk, this team also led the league in points and yards. They also had the NFL's leader in sacks with Kevin Carter. That team won a Super Bowl that year, and with so many statistical similarities, this year's Falcons can as well. Number 4, the New York Giants. Giants fans know better than any fans about making a run, and they are primed and ready once again. They seem to put themselves on pace to do this every 4 to 6 years. Eli Manning always seems horrible in the regular season, but everything turns magical come playoff time. I featured these guys in my video, 5 teams who turned around their season, and for good reason. At one point, they were last in their division. Now they have won 9 of 11. Look, I'll give credit where credit's due. Odell Beckham has been on fire since his first touchdown catch in Week 5, and is part of the driving force that has made this offense click, with some big-time games and a game-changing touchdown in their latest game against the Cowboys. Along with Sterling Shepard playing well from the slot, this offense has improved from their first few games. But before all you Odell fanboys tell me how wrong I was about Odell, here's why your team has been red hot. These guys' defense is absolutely ferocious, and the catalyst to rattling off all these wins. You know how many points the Cowboys averaged this season versus the league? Almost 27 a game. And against the Giants, 13, including only 7 points in their last game. They have the best third down defense of any team in the playoffs, which, like I said before, third downs can make or break a team in crunch time. Not to mention, they have one of the best rush defenses in the NFC with their dominating defensive line. Don't forget about their secondary either. Landon Collins and Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie are both in the top 10 in the league in interceptions. And if Eli Manning does what he seems to do every playoffs, this team will be dangerous. Number 5, the Green Bay Packers. Now before I talk about them, what a matchup in the wildcard that we get to see with the Packers versus the Giants. In my mind, this is the best wildcard matchup overall, and a must watch. This is the hottest team in football, you almost can't deny it, with 6 straight wins headed into the playoffs. Aaron Rodgers is on another planet with his performance in the second half of the season. He wasn't even that great in the first half, and now, he might win MVP because of what he's done since week 11. Since then, he has a ridiculous 18 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. He battled with fellow MVP candidate Matt Stafford and outdueled him in the season finale, and if he continues on this tear, his performance alone will win these guys the Super Bowl. With Jordy Nelson back to his old ways, and Devontae Adams coming into his own, this offense has the best third down offense in the playoffs. Even though their offense has the killer instinct right now, the crazy part about this team is their defense is also playing out of their minds. Their defense went from suspect to perennial over the span of the regular season. They have accumulated one of the biggest sack totals in the league from their front 7, with guys like Nick Perry, veteran Julius Peppers, and Clay Matthews all making quarterbacks' lives miserable. And they have forced the most turnovers of any team in the NFC. All I have to say is, Aaron Rodgers is playing maybe the best football of his career over the last few weeks, along with this team having all the momentum in the world. This team is the most popular Super Bowl bet right now in Vegas. Just saying. Let me leave you Packers fans on this note. In 2011, when you guys won, Aaron Rodgers' last 6 regular season games, he ended with 17 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. This season, like I said, 18 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. Plus, your defense was ranked dead last in yards allowed that season. Now, they are much improved. And number 6, the Dallas Cowboys. What a glorious year it has been for Cowboys fans. They have had one of their best seasons ever. And it has all been done with their rookie 4th round pick taking snaps. This team has the best record in the NFC, and it is definitely no fluke. They have the best rush offense of any team in the playoffs, due to the most dominant unit in the entire NFL, which is their O-line. I have to give credit to Ezekiel Elliott as well. He had one of the best regular seasons of all time for any rookie running back. He's incredibly versatile, playing a big role in all facets of offense, whether it is running the ball, making catches out of the backfield, or picking up blocks. And I think the performance of Mark Sanchez in their season finale proves how valuable Dak Prescott has been. With about a 68% completion percentage and a very efficient touchdown to interception ratio, he seems to be the perfect quarterback for what this team is trying to do. He's been getting everyone involved in the pass game, which includes having 4 players over 500 receiving yards. With this dominant rush attack and consistent pass game, this team dominates time of possession and leads all playoff teams in that category. They grind it out all game long, and because of their O-line, there's not much defenses can do. What I found interesting with this is they hardly get into third down situations, with one of the lowest amounts of third down attempts in the entire league. On the flip side, their defense is actually decent. With the help of their offense, they allow the 5th least amount of points per game, along with the best rush defense yards-wise in the entire NFL, not allowing a single 100-yard rusher this season. Sean Lee is a beast, and has one of the highest tackle totals in the entire league. Cowboys fans, it could finally be your return to glory. Dallas has been amazing all season long, and you can expect this to be one of the best playoffs in NFL history. So thank you for checking out this video. Who do you have winning the Super Bowl this season? Let me know in the comments below. These videos take me a ton of time, so if you haven't subscribed yet, you might want to hop on the train. I would definitely appreciate it. So have a good one, and I'll catch you on my next video.